Hey everybody, Mary Delgado with the Blockchain Herd, and look who I ran into. Hey Grant, how you doing?
I'm Gary.
I know.
Shame on you.
I'm kidding.
Bang, bang.
I'm totally kidding. I know who you are.
Grant doesn't do free interviews.
Listen, I just wanted to get you with that. How often do you get mistaken for your brother? Of course, you are twins, right?
Well, we are twins. We're identical twins, so often.
Often,
Yeah,
okay.
very often.
What brings you here, and how did you get into crypto? And thank you, first of all, for taking a minute to stop and talk with me. So what got you into crypto?
Sure, no, I'm really excited to be here. It's a really awesome space. I was here yesterday, and the cool thing is I think the average age here is about 30 to 28, and it's like really invigorated. Great space. I've been in crypto since about 16, I think, and not nearly heavily enough. I also went into gold at the same time, but I run a large fintech business that's local here in the credit card industry, and was so busy with that business that I really couldn't look at this opportunity. And about 2 years ago, that canvas, I call these businesses military operations or art like canvases. That canvas is pretty full. It's run really well. The business, about 300 or 400 people, it's run really well. I start to get a little bored, a little anxious, and so I start looking for new canvases to start. And I started studying crypto and blockchain in earnest. I mean, really took a deep dive into it, probably put 1,000 good hours into it, which I would recommend anyone take 40 hours. 40 hours, don't go 4 or 5, you gotta go 40, 50 hours.
DYOR.
And then reset and take a look at it, and I think you'll come to the opinion that it's worth a deep study. And then began investing in some companies pre-IPO, formed Card1 Ventures, which is a venture fund that's active money. It is not passive in any way. Because my thesis is that many of these technology companies are really strong on geekiness, dorkiness, technology, but they lack maybe some views of the real world, of how commercials work, contracting, structure, vision, timing, strategy, these things that are really, there are companies here today that are awesome, and they will not be here. Like, not everyone is going to survive this war. This is going to be a colossal war between legacy incumbents, the financial institutions, and the new world. This is 20th century versus 21st century.
What do you think is going to be the decline of those companies that are going to fail versus those that are really going to get it and then, go to the moon, if you will?
Well, it's easy to go to the moon, but can you get back?
Right.
One of the greatest fears about going to the moon is actually, hey, how do you get back?
Right.
So I've been doing business for 40 years. I've seen a lot of moon shots, and I've seen a lot of explosions at the end. So WorldCom, Enron, General Electric. Who would have predicted 10 years ago that GE would be a faltering company? IBM, okay? 10 years ago, if you'd have said IBM would be a non-event, really they're a non-event now. No offense to IBM, but none of these people will ever work for the white shirt company. None of them. They will never attract innovators. They become a government. So I think the danger will be too much money and too much of one expertise, that you need balance in business. I don't care if you crypto the planet, digitize it, and put it on some kind of sexy drive. At the end of the day, you have to still have basic economics, okay? Who's your customer? What are you charging them? And how long can you retain them? And what value do you bring to him? Not everything can be free.
Right.
It can't. It's not sustainable. Okay. And like, I see a lot of problems in this space, but I see more opportunities than I do problems.
What is the biggest problem that you do see in this space?
I think the enemy is here. It's not out there. The biggest enemy is here. We're all focused on regulations and governments and fiat currency. Actually, I've studied a lot of history. I took off 8 years out of industry just to study religion and history, and I have seen the enemy, and it is I, okay, or it is we. And I think that the amount of money that's being sucked from core projects right now, and I would call those core projects for sure Bitcoin and Ethereum. The amount of money in some of these, I'm not sure the word to use, but pump and dump coins. I mean,
coins.
there are going to be so many people that lose so much money. And I would just ask, this is not McDonald's. Okay, this is not a drive. This is the greatest wealth transfer, power transfer possibility in the history of mankind. 7,000 years, okay? And everyone's living through it right now. I don't think people really appreciate they're living in history. And then they're buying a coin that has zero, you cannot tell me what it does, okay? So I'm not saying that my trainer made 400% over the weekend. My trainer, the guy that helps me keep this old body, kind of lean, and he literally made 400%, and that's awesome, okay? But he didn't pay taxes on it. He's not even preparing to pay taxes on it.
But he will.
Well, nobody's paid taxes on it. This is a problem, okay? People are just think this is like free money. This is going to be taxed. It should be taxed. So I just I see a lot of really, I am extremely invested in this space. I mean, when I start looking at a space and I get excited about it, dude, I go all in, okay? When I get married, I'm married. I don't mess around.
Nice.
And when I'm invested in a space, I'm extremely focused. And like my brother and I, we do one thing really well. I think I do one thing, I bet behind my viewpoint, my thesis. I don't use other people's money. I plow a massive amount of my net worth into a space, and I've done that in this space. And it irritates me a little bit. It irritates me a little bit that we have some really core projects that are being grossly diluted, and that is going to freak a bunch of senators and congressmen out when you have, their aunts and their uncles, and the mayor gets clipped because he got greedy. This is a greed thing now, okay? Why would you need to invest in a coin that's going up 400% every 12 seconds when you can invest in a coin like Bitcoin that's going up 200% for 12 years? This is a history lesson now. This is no longer like an experiment. 12 years is a history program. And there is no reason to believe that kind of interest, that kind of acceleration won't continue. I think probably less, but with more stability.
Yes.
But something going up 400% on a weekend, and my trainer, taking $500 to $2,000. It sets up a lot of bad behavior. Okay.
Yeah, there are.
It's junky behavior. It's actually junky behavior.
It reminds you a little bit about penny stocks. Penny stocks.
It's totally penny stocks.
It's like penny stocks. That's what I think of when you're talking about that, and it kind of dilutes the ones that really have utility behind them.
It's sucking energy.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if you look at money is nothing but energy.
Yes.
It's energy and communication. Okay. So you and I use money as communication for it. And this is what our schools don't teach us, that money, currencies are communication tools. That's all they are, okay? So if I'm in Spain, I can't speak any languages other than South Louisiana. I can barely speak English.
No sabe hablar
No. I have to get Bobby, who works for me, to. But if I'm in Spain or Amsterdam, and they're speaking a non-American, not English, but non-American, I guarantee you, I pull out some dollars.
Yeah.
The language here.
Don't know what that is.
You're giving all of a sudden,
thank you so much.
Man, hey, I paid $100 for this shit. $100 going to zero.
Exactly.
So let's see, is this a 2017? Yeah. That's a big problem. To me, that's a massive problem because there's going to be billions of dollars get lost. I mean, like people are going to get wiped out.
Yeah.
When if you just took that same money and studied the core, if you're investing in this space and you haven't read the white paper, shame on you, man. You're a total dilettante, okay? You're not really a player. You're a spectator that's placing bets on a horse a pony running around a track. You might as well go to the track.
Yeah.
Okay, it'd probably be fun.
Right.
So,
Or go play blackjack.
Blackjack's fun, see? But I don't. I love blackjack, but I don't play blackjack with. It's not my core business,
right.
And I know very few I grew up, since I've been 21 years old, my career profession has been trading the most violent commodities in the world, electricity and natural gas. The most violent commodity. It makes Bitcoin look like trades on the half hour, extreme prices, people die if it doesn't show up, literally die, hospitals go dark, and I will tell you that very few people will make money trading day to day, hour to hour. Not only will you not make money, but it will destroy your life because it's extremely addictive. And unlike most markets, this one is 24/7. So if you're trading $1 million or $100,000 or 5, 10, 20% of your net worth, or some of these guys are trading 100% of their net worth, leveraged up to the gills,
Yep.
They cannot unplug.
Yep.
Okay, they will destroy families. They won't have a girlfriend. Their girlfriend becomes this universe, and you'll become sick. Okay, you'll become sick, psychologically sick, and you'll lose your money, and then you won't know how to do it, and you'll have to. And you will become a gambler. So a lot of gambling is going on, not speculation. Speculation is professional investing. Like I speculate all the time. Okay, all the time. I speculated when I came here. This would be a good show for me. By the way, you should come to this show next year. This show is freaking awesome, okay? And you're awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what you're saying then, that this is like your horse. You're in a horse race, and then like you're really all in.
Well, I'm an extremely focused player.
Yep.
So I've gone from, I spent 17 years in the oil and gas business, the electricity business, in 3 countries, and helped build a Fortune 50 company. I didn't build it, helped build it. Built 2 really large companies in Europe. But I do this, okay? A guy at JP Morgan once said to me, I was trading in the UK, building a market with the government in the UK around natural gas. And he looked at me one day, he said, you step over more pennies and nickels than anyone else I've ever seen. He was one of these MBA, I think he works for Paul Tudor Jones now. I mean, he's a really smart guy. But he was also very young, and he didn't understand that for me, my game wasn't pennies and nickels. And I understood what he was saying. I literally looked at him and said, why don't you get behind me and you pick up all the pennies and nickels? I don't mind. But because I have a very limited IQ, and I have other things that's interesting to me in life, like learning about myself, I become a better investor the more I know about myself. The better human being I become a better investor, not only in a business, but also with other people, because I can help other people. So
that's what you're doing right now.
He picked up the nickels and dimes, and I was focused on the dollars. And don't make me wrong, so I just, for this space, okay, I met a guy just recently. He's got a core business. I asked, what's your core business? He told me. He said, but 20% of my time is in this space, blockchain and crypto. I went, dude, don't waste your time. Put 100% of your time on your core business, because this particular subject matter, it is not a part-time job.
No, it's not.
This is like, okay, I'm going to share this.
It's constantly changing. Go
Can
ahead.
I share this analogy?
Absolutely.
So this particular space is like taking an extended release macro dose of mushrooms. Okay, you never really go massively deep, but it just keeps going on forever and ever and ever, right? You can drive on it, but it's just like forever and ever and ever. And I don't think this is a part-time job because the space is so dynamic, and that's what I love about this. It is so freaking dynamic.
Yep.
Changing very, very rapidly, okay?
Love it.
And it's complex, okay?
Yep.
Because you have to change. Like one challenge I have constantly, and I've always been good about this. What do I think I know that's wrong? What I'm sure I know that it is wrong, and what don't I know? And like when you come into this space, you really need to erase your thought process, because I believe that this world that we're moving from is literally the legacy construct. That is, anything developed pre-21st century is old school, and horse and buggy, and this is the EV car. And we're literally going from horse and buggy to the EV car. Okay, we're not like moving through fossil fuel gasoline cars. We're taking a massive step change. that was affording us because of technology. And so I just keep erasing everything I believe in, because I think everything I believe in. Nuke the other day said to me, we were laughing, he's like, Gary, you're just a simulation in my universe. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm 6'2", right? And you're a simulation, 6'2" and all bulked up. He's like, yeah, you are, you little short guy. So anyway, so I think it's not a part-time job. And I think, my hope is, because of all the funding that's coming here, and by funding, I mean intellect that is coming here. Money's easy.
Right.
Okay? It's always been easy.
Right.
It's even easier. But intellect, okay, investment into brains, my hope is that the schools are going to get out of their own way and not take 18 months and 2 years to look at curriculums. My kids go to a private school here, Shorecrest. I'm actually getting ready, a great school, but I'm getting ready to talk to the principal and say, hey, look, you need to start reducing the time it takes to introduce new curriculums. I'll use my kids as guinea pigs. 18 months in this space is a lifetime. Okay, so you can't take 18 months to study. And if the schools don't do that, blockchain will. Okay, and blockchain will disrupt education. It is actually a space that with anyone out there listening to your broadcast, anyone that is interested in disrupting education massively, I mean, like sticking it on its nose and crushing it in the dumbing down that we're doing on our children, I would be, any country, anywhere in the world, I would be really happy to chat with you about, because blockchain really gives us that open source, all data for anyone. What do you want to study? And you're not forced into these paradigms of having to study something that has no relevance whatsoever to what you're going to do in it. Zero. It's a total waste of energy and time. So
I got to tell you, Gary, not to take anything away from your brother, but you are way more interesting than your brother is. Sorry, Grant. You are way... If somebody wanted to follow you, because you are a wealth of knowledge and you give such great information, if somebody wanted to follow you, how can they follow you or listen to you? Do you have do you have anything where you're helping other individuals, do the Gary way?
Well, I'm not like Mr. Glitter. I just don't.
You don't need to be, but you're helping people, and that's what you're about. That's what I'm getting from you.
I am interested, really, really interested in helping. The best thing I've been really lucky to have had some success, but every year or two I get a phone call or an email from somebody, hey man, wanted to thank you, I'm running a company now, and it wouldn't happen if it would. For me,
matters.
I don't care how many zeros I have in the bank, it's dumb. They're zeros, okay? They're zeros. They're nothing. They're dust. They're digital little crap. So I'm on LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn for the most part. They just nuked one of my postings, and if people keep nuking me, then I'll just keep not doing social media. But don't do Twitter very much because I got upset with Jack a little bit. But I think he's a brilliant man. I just don't think that we need censorship. Okay.
I agree with that.
I think if you keep doing this, okay, I don't care how big you are, people are going to not listen to you. So we need to be able to communicate. And if I want to vote for someone, cool, man. You cannot abandon a president of the United States from social media. It's uncool, okay? Like you're just a company.
Yes.
So I appreciate you, Mr. Darcy. I think you're brilliant. I really, but for me, that's a violation.
Censorship is just not.
And so LinkedIn, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. Gary at Card1 Ventures. If you got a great idea and you want to run a great business ethically and responsibly, call me if you got a big idea. Don't go through brokers. I don't use brokers. I don't need brokers.
Right. You've got this.
Yeah, I just don't need to. I think many of these companies need active investment. They do not need 37 shareholders that don't know anything about connecting the dots.
Well, I mean, I really I appreciate the fact that what you're doing is giving a lot of information and knowledge to people, and I encourage you, to keep doing that, because
Well, maybe
at
you
the
can
end of
help
the
me.
day,
You can help me. So.
100%. At the end of the day, what matters in life is how you touch other individuals,
That's
how
right.
you help them,
That's right.
get the financial freedom, whatever it means to them, whatever the riches mean to them. It might not necessarily be money, but it might be in another form. So I encourage you to continue to get out there and talk to someone, because someone's listening.
Thank you.
So a lot of people are listening, and you're encouraging them. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for.
You're amazing, and I'm
you.
serious about that. Grant, I'm sorry, but your brother. So I appreciate you talking.
We have, we have different approaches to things.
Yeah.
Our whole life has been different.
Yeah.
We kind of went, and and it's a good message actually.
Yes.
That two people can take diametrically, like I went corporate, he went consumer.
Yep.
He's never worked for anyone in his life. I love working for people personally. I think it's awesome, big team. And he's done exceptionally well. He's helped so many people. It's just not my space. So I don't deal with consumers. And I've done, a modicum of success myself, so it's been cool. But if you're not happy, you're not happy. So happiness is the thing.
Happiness is key,
So,
for sure.
Thank you so much.
This guy is fantastic. Thank you so much. This is Gary Cardone. I really appreciate him stopping by and talking to little old me. Don't forget, I'm Mary Delgado.
You're awesome.
Mary Delgado with the Blockchain Herd. Don't forget, you heard it here on the Blockchain Herd.